Well, good evening everybody. Welcome back to VP4TV. Yes, we're back for another match tonight in the Bar Table World Championships. It's between Cobra and LS3, both from the UK, and that starts at 7:30. But we have a bit of a warm-up. Until then, we have a match that's also been arranged. We'll have a quick look at the schedule. We have Linus against Real Poland Power, Stubb of course, which starts at the top of the hour. We're going to go with that one until the Cobra LS3 match starts, and then after that the schedule is as it was. You've got Larry against Semi-Pro on Saturday night. You've got Bankster and Coldest Pillow who've arranged their match. That is going to be Sunday at 7 o'clock as well, same as the Larry Semi-Pro match on Saturday night. And we've also got the Albinario Tommy match. Now I can get all of those matches because I'm still off the rest of this week and next week, so that's the match we're waiting on to start right now. Linus against Stubb, and for some strange reason Stubb went in playing bank pool. he hasn't been practicing for the bar table. Linus is in a room. Stubb has disappeared. He's probably gone to away mode, and we're just waiting on the room going up now. Steve said last night he may get here, but he might be late, so we'll just have to keep an eye out for him. So welcome to Bill, welcome to Coldest Pillow, and anybody else that might be watching. This is well, it's a chance for LS3 to maybe cause a little bit of a shock, but I think for her to do that, she's possibly going to need a little roll of the ball here or there. If she gets a good start and maybe applies a little bit of pressure on Cobra, then things could get interesting. It's always the usual thing. It's how deep into the match the LS3 can stay with Cobra. You know, with it being the bar table, she knows how to pot a ball. It's whether she's going to be good enough to find her way through those balls. That's the big test. Cobra will be the favourite, but it wouldn't be a complete surprise if LS3 managed to pinch it. As for the match with Linus and Stubb, well, Linus, I don't know what his game is. He does play a bit of cowboy in the mornings sometimes, but I don't know what he's like on a bar table. But he's probably never played on it, like most players. And Stubb, of course, will pop balls from everywhere on that table, but how well will he move the cue ball? That's the thing, and it's whether Linus can do the same thing and capitalise on any mistakes that Stubb makes. Linus obviously has to play solid to stay with him. So we are about a minute and a half away from the room going up. I don't know. There was who was that guy that was in the lobby? I don't know whether anybody managed to help that guy. There was a guy, where was he? I was actually setting up my stream. Ashley, that's the one. Ashley plays pool. He was asking if there was an admin, and by the time I saw the message in the lobby there, he'd gone. So I don't know what the guy's problem was. Whether it was something to do with his account or whatever. So anybody that sees him, maybe try and point him in the right direction, rather than him going out the door, because nobody responded to him. Right, so we're all set. I'm raring to go. Good evening to Cobra. We're going to watch a bit of this warm-up match until your match starts. Eskiman. That's another name I've never heard of. I've never heard of Andy HHHDX. I've never heard of that one. There's a few names appear here and then they disappear. You know, they go in and get their asses handed to them and then they're out the door. They've had enough straight away. Now the room has gone up, and Stub will do his usual thing probably. He'll mess about for 5 minutes before he decides to go in. So we'll go in and get ready. Is this a round 2 match? I know the Cobra LS3 one's a round 2 match. Where are we? Yeah, it's round 2. So we just wait on Stub eventually getting himself in gear. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I've got Discord open, and if Steve appears in the room, he might not appear in this room, but he might appear later on. Then I'll know that he's there, but I won't keep tabbing out to find him. So as predicted, Stub's hanging about. He's getting his warning tone, letting him know the room is up. I'll have a quick drink. Had another great sleep last night. What I'm doing is because obviously my body clock tells me to get up at 4 AM. What I'm doing is I'm actually fighting through the sleep barrier and hanging around till midnight. I think I went to bed at about 1 AM last night, and I slept like a log. Up at 8 o'clock again. Had about 7 hours sleep, which is the longest sleep. I've had that for 2 or 3 nights in a row, but it's the longest sleep I've had in 10 years, believe it or not. I don't, even on my days off, I don't get a long sleep. I'm always up early. So it feels good to get those extra hours in. It's a bit sad that about Fiona Phillips, isn't it? I was reading that in the text today. She used to be the presenter on what is it, Good Morning Britain or whatever the hell it was called, and she's revealed that she's got Alzheimer's, or the early stages of it, and she's only 62. And the other thing is, I think her mother and her father, I think the family's sort of riddled with it, and she's found out she's got it, and the symptoms were that she was just getting a bit muddled, and then she's gone and had the diagnosis. So Stubbs in, Linus on the right hand side. Stubbs going to win the lag, but there you go. That's your lot in life. You know, you just you live and hope you don't end up getting something like that, because there's never a happy ending to it. So Stubb breaks off. I think that's dry immediately. And well, of course, as there usually always is in this table, there's lots of problems here to find your way out. Well, the 10 ball goes down the rail, and Linus has gone in straight away and committed. See, cue ball's in the middle of the table. He's got the 14 ball. The 11 ball goes as well. The only thing is that does he want to take that 10 ball now? So he's taking the 11. He's going to run into. He's running into his other ball. Well, I would have hit that a bit harder to get the cue ball out. That wasn't great. And that's not too bad as far as that goes. He's left a combo for Stubb with a 2-3. There's also a possible combo with a 1-5, but neither of them are gimmies. And Stubb might be I thought he was contemplating just tucking in behind the 3 ball there. Well, that's actually turned out not too bad for Stubb, looking at the state of the table. Well, it'd be good to see if Linus does apply a bit of good strategy here in this match, because it's one way to frustrate your opponent. So the combo eventually got played. And we'll see how long Stubb goes before he starts blasting to break balls out rather than getting the better shape. And looking at what's left here, that 7 ball, let's have a look at that. I mean, see, he was on the 7, he's had a nudge. And is he going to try and nudge the 4? Because he doesn't really need to. If he, well, he has nudged. He's nudged the 4 into play, but it's finished awkward. And that's got Linus in trouble. That could be the winning shot. Although, has Stubb covered that 13? Well, look at the dirt in that ball, by the way. Look at the burn marks on that cue ball. See how dirty that is? Well, the one thing is that that 5 ball, of course, is stuck in the rail, and that's Stubbs' problem, that he's immediately going to have to try and work out a way to get rid of that. And that's well played. That's well done. Got the little nudge. Now he's had a lash. And again, he's got away with it. He's the nudge in the 2, brought it into play, but it's in fact, what am I talking about? Aye, it is the 2, isn't it? Yeah. It's just a dicey little cut. But that's a good little finish to the rack there for Stubb. So Stubb off and running. Well, Linus has got a 1944 rating, so he's obviously played a little bit of 8 ball at some time. Well, a couple of solids have gone in, I think. The 1 and the 5, and now does that 2 ball go past the 8 ball? Yes, it does, because that would be handy to get onto that 3. And he might be, if he got good on it, he could maybe nudge the 8 ball into play. Now, what ball did he pot there? Well, Linus has chosen the stripes. I'm not convinced I would have chosen the stripes, simply because of where the 2 ball is. There was a chance to get that 8 ball into play. The problem now is that he's got the 12 dead in the rail and can't get to it. And you know, Stubb will deal with the 2 and the 3 ball no problem. It's whether he can he can get down onto the 3. Well, that's going to scratch. See, that's just letting that cue ball run too loose, and that's gifted Stubby's opportunity here. Now Stubbs taking these balls first. I don't know what the hell he tried there. That's just sloppy. That's definitely sloppy, that effort. I mean he had ball in hand. He could have dealt with these down the table, and he had those 2 balls to work with to get onto that 8. So has Linus got the ability to punish him? Well, he's given himself a chance here. Now he needs to watch that side pocket on the left hand side here. And he's got to let this cue ball run. Oh, he's taking it the other pocket. Well, I think that's what he was afeared of cutting that down to the right side and going forward. He could have got on the 8 ball. And the shot he's played there, although he wasn't in line, he would have been hooked behind the 2 anyway. So Linus had a chance there. It wasn't easy, but that's the type of things you have to take. If you're going to put any pressure on Stubb, you've got to make sure you get the job done. And that might be Linus's problem. He's not going to be able to do enough of that. Well, it's going to have to be a combo, and there's enough room past the 4. It's a bit tight to see the 4 to play the 4-6, but the 3-6 there is room, but not an awful lot, because he's got to get the left side of that 6 ball as we look at it, so it will cut in, because if it goes straight to it, it'll hit the point. Like, well, it's hit the point and it's still gone in. So Stubb should be 2-0 up here. Well, Linus doesn't need to panic, but he certainly needs to just settle and get off the mark sooner rather than later if he can. So Stubb breaking in rack number 3. A couple of balls have gone down, and of course after the break, no matter how many balls go down and what balls they are, you've got an open table till you commit. I think the solids look favourite here. Let's have a look. Is that the 9 ball that's here? No, that's a 1. You would probably have to get a nudge into the 2-3, but the other balls that are sort of tied up are the 2 stripes. So I think the solids are got to be favourite here, although there is an issue to get dealt with. Now Stubbs looking around because I think he's looking at whether he should be taking this 1 ball first, and biding his time on the 6 ball to get the breakout. Now I don't know what he tried there, but he's actually made the situation worse. He's actually nudged the 11 onto the 2. So the table, I think it would have been fine if he maybe tried to get out of there clean so he could play the 6 ball to free those other 2 balls up. I don't know, but it's he's got it now. Potted one of Linus's balls, but he potted his own first, so it's legal. And now the 5 ball. Looks as if he's trying to cut this back, I think. I don't know whether he can get enough of it to do it though. Can he? Doesn't look as if he's banking it. Well, the fatal mistake here for Linus would be to try and cut that 11 into the side and break out the 5. He wants to leave that there and just try and roll the 11 up to the top corner pocket. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be leaving that 5 ball where it is. I wouldn't be cutting it into the side. Well, that's poor, because that's not getting to a rail. So he's nervy, and that's given Stubb ball in hand to deal with the problem 5 ball. So you know, Linus has got to hold himself together here. All he had to do was try and roll that 11 ball sort of in or over the pocket, and he's failed on both accounts by getting the 11 nowhere near the pocket and then not getting anything to a rail. See, Stubb is again into the old habit of running loose and relying on his potting. You see, that's him back to his old ways. You know, he's hoping that he comes out with half a shot in a ball and he'll pot it, but you can't win this tournament doing that, and he needs to learn that very quickly. And he hasn't landed good on a ball anyway, so he's going to have to blast and cut this too, or bank it if he thinks it'll bank. And there's the mistake made. So Linus has got another go here, and I don't know whether he can see the 11. I don't think he can. And if he takes the 13, he's cutting it back and running into towards the 14, and he might finish on the 9 or something like that. So he's taking the 10 up table. Now, has he got a shot though? Has he gone far enough? Oh, I don't think he has. I don't think he has. Well, to me it's time to duck here. He's got to do something to mess up that ball in the rail and give him some time. He has to do something to tie this 3 ball up, or do something to try and keep things safe. What's he doing? Well, that's sneaked out as well, I think. You know, it was a poor attempt at a safety there from Linus as well. And it's just making Stubbs' life easy. He's not getting punished. So 3-0. Well, a stripe has gone in. I think it was a 12 ball or whatever it was. And well, there's a whole cluster of solids there on the right side, but that what ball was it? Was that the 12 that went in? Now the 13's down there by the side pocket, and you've got 3 other solids all married up together right in the middle of the rack. Well, that's actually quite good, because he's now got himself right in amongst those balls there, nudged the 7 out of the way. He can come down table, get the 10, get the 13. Might end up, well, that's not going right. That's not going right, because he's now hooked on the 10, and he's got an ambitious combo here on this 14-9. These are tricky, just to take enough of that 9 ball. And you see the cue ball's running loose though. That's the problem. Now he's going to start moving balls here. Well, I would have moved him a bit more vigorously than that, because he was never getting out of there at that pace. But I think Stubbs already worked out that the chances are he's going to come back to the table. I think he's thinking Linus can't do anything, or isn't going to be good enough to do anything. But he should be good enough to put Stubb in trouble here. Now, what's he doing? See, he's trying to cut the 2, which it will cut. This cue ball's going to run left by the look of it to me. Somewhere up with the 8 ball. Oh, he's had a... that's crazy. That's nuts. He had a chance to play a decent safety there and get Stubb blocked out on the 2 of his balls. And Linus might not get away with this, because I think Stubb can cheat that in every day of the week. That ball. You see how much he can cheat those pockets? Unbelievable. And the 8 balls wide open. Linus just sold that right down the Swanee River there with that effort. Well, it's already taken shape that Linus isn't coming up with anything good strategy-wise to keep him in this match. And it's now looking that it might take a gift before Linus is going to get off the mark here. That really is what's coming into my mind. Oh, did he win that? Right. I was too busy looking at the chat. I take it all back. I take it all back. See, that's the bloody problem. You go and look at the chat, next thing you know somebody else is at the table. Well, that's not the first mistake I've ever made. And it won't be the last. Well, thank God for that, that's all I'm saying. Linus has got off the mark. That 8 ball, how accessible is it? Not really. It's not that accessible, that 8 ball. In fact, looking at it from this side, you can certainly maybe get just enough of it. It's pretty tight to actually pot it in the corner. Certainly I think you probably have a better chance of doing it from this sort of angle. The question is whether Stubb is happy to leave that there and think he can get on it, or whether he's going to try and run loose and have a bump somewhere along the line. Well, he can certainly come across the table with this. The problem is maybe that 13 ball could be in the way if he's trying to go across the table twice, and he needs to watch the side pocket as well. This is not easy. It's a dodgy enough cut. In fact, it's too much of a cut, I think, to get a great line on this. But then again, what do I know about bar tables? I never play on it. Yeah, he's had a blast and run and a hit and hope. Well, here's a... And now, there's a tiny edge of that 8 ball showing, but I don't even think Stubb can see that. So he's going to call it in the corner, the top or that left corner, I think. I don't see where he's called it yet, but I'm thinking no, he's calling it in the side. So this is just a sort of blast and hope. Well, we're 5 minutes away from Cobra's match with LS3, and well, that's that 15 ball and 11 ball is a nice little combo. That's unmissable. So Linus doesn't need to worry about that. What he needs to worry about is getting this done. Now, if I was Linus, I wouldn't be cutting a 14 to bump these balls. You didn't need to. I'd be more concerned about getting up in that 10 ball and dealing with that immediately, and he needs to get that thought in his head. I'd be trying to get up table sooner rather than later. I don't like the idea of that 10 ball left line there. I don't know what Stubbs going on about. Now, how tight is this 10 ball? Well, it's off the rail. Now he's leaving it till last, and that's a good shot. Well, if he just dinks it in, he can leave the long 8 ball into the corner, and maybe this corner, not that one. And he's fine. Oh, is that what he's doing? He's using that as he's testing the rails. Well, that's why he shouldn't have been in a practice room playing bank pool. That's why he should have been in a room playing 8 ball in the bar table and getting practice that way. So Linus gets his second rack. We're about another 3.5, 4 minutes away from the main event of the evening. Linus's break. Now, well, you've got a bunch of solids down here. You've got the 3 balls in the right hand corner here, which I think the 7 cuts, if you can get. Now, what did he pot there? Did he pot a stripe? No, he's potted a solid. So if you get down the bottom of the table, you can cut the 7 in and maybe bump the 4, or well, that'll work. That will work very nice. And that 6 ball's wide open, so there's not a problem here with clearing this table. He's just got to make sure he's 100% in what he's doing here. Well, he's got to go 2-3 rails here, I think. But he has to get a bit more juice into it than that. He's now forced into taking the 6 ball, and this can go wrong because the touch is going to be immediately tested here as to whether he's going to get a sight on that. I see he's overhit it. Now you see, the thing is, Larry, if he'd left that 6 ball there, was it the 6 ball that was up there? I can't remember now, but if he'd left that there and he got a decent angle, he could have probably maybe improved the 8 ball. Now, as it is, Stubbs at the table, he can stun the 15 in and hold the cue ball. Is he trying to back cut that 11? Because the 14's the one that's he's just got to get good on. The rest of it should be fairly straightforward, and he's run round the angles and he's got to scratch. And so Linus, on this type of situation, Linus has to pounce. So ball in hand from the scratch, and this should be fairly simple to get it back to within 1. Tell a lie, all square. What am I talking about? I'm not even paying attention to the score. So, Stubbs break in rack number 7, and we're just on the bottom of the hour. Now that break was dry by the look of it, And we've got two solids at the bottom end here, the 4 and the 6. Solids in the open up there, the one problem ball in amongst that lot. Looks like the 1 ball. Let's have a look at that. Well, the 1 ball certainly isn't accessible where it's sitting. He's trying to go in and get a bump. And well, he's going to have to stop potting balls here, I think, Linus. I think he can't get to that 1. So why is he still potting balls? And well, that's asking an awful lot to come out good with that, with the amount of balls that was in amongst this end of the table. He's not made it any better, other than it's probably easier to see it. And he's going to take a huge chunk of this 15 ball and probably won't be able to see it. Well, he can see it, but now Stubbs immediately become the favourite. And that's a foul. He didn't get to the ball. So, at the moment, we're 3 racks all. I'm heading out. We'll head into Cobra and LS3. Let me just tab to keep an eye on that match with Stubb and Linus, just to see how things are going, but I'm pretty much giving that rack to Stubb. So we're underway. This is also a round 2 match. Cobra won the lag, he's broke off, and the ball has gone down. Probably not on his break though, because LS3's at the table. Now obviously if things get very interesting in the Stubb match late on, then we'll dive back into that. So we'll just keep a tab on how things are going there. Well, there'll be a lot of summer sales go by before you ever get that on Steam. That'll never happen. Well, LS3 on the stripes, so the 9 ball obviously cuts, the 10 ball goes into the side, 14 ball goes past the 6, and the last ball up that end of the table is the 11, so this is, it's looking like, see the problem is where she's finishing that 10 ball, because you want to, you know, in the normal course of events you would stun the 10 and come off the rail and out for the 14, but she can't do that because it's going to scratch. And there's no harm in potting the 14 and potting the 11 and just running the 10 up the table. The problem is you want to finish inside that 10 so you can get out for the 8. Well, I mean, again, when the little voice in your head says, you know, still go for the shot, the other little voice should be telling you you could end up like this. And I think she should have potted the 14, potted the 11, made sure she got inside on that 10 ball and just run the cue ball out to have a cut in the 8 ball. Where would the problem be in playing that way? It never looked as if it was going to be good coming from such a tight space that she had to try and get that cue ball out of there. Now I presume she called the pocket. And now it's a legal hit, so she's hit a ball, hit a rail, and Cobra, well, he's now planning his route to get out here. So he's not really got a problem. You can certainly take the 7 and then deal with all of this stuff here. He's got no problem there. Although the angle he's finished in the 7's not the best, and he can't properly see enough of the 6. So he's going to have to rethink his route plan here, I think, because if he'd finished better on that 7, he would have been fine. And he's now just caught the 8 ball and everything's good now. Just caught it thin enough. I don't know that... well, does he want to leave that 4 ball to get on the 8? You're probably going to have to. So then it's paramount that he gets the good angle on the 4 ball so that he can get onto that 8 ball. Now if he finishes the right side of the table, he can draw past the side pocket and past the 3 ball to get to the 8 that side, but that's more dangerous. But he's certainly one of the better touch players in the game, so either side would work. But now he's getting rid of the 3. Well, it's going to be the 4 ball. Well, I think he can. He probably could go forward and check this, or he can stun across and watch the side pocket. He looks as if he's going to check it and come back the same direction. No, he has gone left, and he's messed with the side pocket there. That was the only danger, but he's fine. So LS3's big mistake there was taking the wrong choice of ball. I don't think she should have been taking that 10 ball, because ultimately that's what's cost her the rack. If she'd done the other option, it wasn't difficult. The other option was actually easier. Well, I think LS3's realised that she's now in a bar table and you don't need to hit it like it is a big sledgehammer. And straight away, Cobra's back in. Well, that's a foul from the break, so that's ball in hand in the kitchen. Looks as if he's deciding on the... is he deciding on the stripes? Is he going to cut that 3? Or is that a solid that's over the pocket? What ball's that? That's a 14. Right, 10 into the side. And then... well, I mean, obviously he's trying to probably get rid of that 3 ball there because it's blocking the path for the 15. And he managed to somehow find a path through those balls clean. So he's now still got the problem on how he gets there. The other problem, of course, is this pocket's blocked for that 13 ball. So there's a bit of thinking here to be done for Cobra. Now, what's he looking at here? Well, he can obviously see the 15 ball. Now, why is he not calling the combo then? He's got to call the combo. 15 ball onto the 3 onto the 14. which is what he's called. He's just double checking the lineup. I think if he gets that 3 ball anywhere near the 14, it can't go anywhere else other than in. Oh, is that idiots making a protest at Wimbledon now? Is it? Well, they said prior to the tournament started, when whatever her name, I don't know who she was, but she was obviously an official from Wimbledon. She says, "Oh, we've got the security in place." There's nothing you can really do if there's an idiot in the crowd and they want to run onto the court and make an arse of themselves. Did they throw anything in the court? Because usually what they want to do is mess up the court with powder or something. And of course, at this time of night, it's a bit quieter because it's coming to the end of the day. So, you know, maybe the security's not quite as 100% as what it is when it's really busy. I don't know. Through a jigsaw puzzle. Well, that's a novelty. But anyway, LS3's got herself back at the table here. Now, got to get this pattern play worked out better than what she did in that earlier rack. And this is got to be sort of punched in unless she's just trying to trickle through for the 2. Got to get the cue ball running, that's well done. And this is a delicate touch on that 6 ball, because you don't want that cue ball to bump out there. And the other problem is you need some sort of angle. This is well, you can, as long as you leave some sort of angle, but you've got to watch. You've not got a lot of room to work with here to get good on that 5. You might have to end up kicking it in. You see what I mean? But I think there's enough of the 5 ball to work with here. So, well, looking at where the 2 is and where the 5 is, you could certainly cut the 5 in and just dink up for the 8. I tend to agree with you there, Larry, because this is now finished awkward. This is finished very awkward. You know, that 2 ball's got some of the corner pocket there, but she's now forced into playing it in the side. And again, this could go wrong by the choice of shot not being right. I think it was far easier to just dink that 5 and come out for the 8 into the corner than it is to have left the 2 as the last ball. So now it's a tricky little cut. I mean, she should never miss this either, but you know, if you don't play in the bar table every day, but you definitely shouldn't miss this. So the only sort of questionable thing here is how LS3 sees her way out in these tables. She seems to be in the notion of making things slightly more difficult than she needs to. But the break goes back to Cobra. He's got a ball, and again, a quick study of the table before you commit. The stripes, I mean, the solids look pretty good to me as well. I think the solids look good. That 10 ball's just a wee bit more fiddly to get to. I think I'd prefer the solids here, but the first shot in the solids going to be the 4 ball if that's the case. Or yeah, he's looking around and looking around. I think I prefer the solids here. I think just because of that 10 ball, there's no handy ball adjacent to the 10 ball to get on it really good. I mean, you've got to get up here onto this 13 as well. So I would prefer the solids. £10 an hour for snooker. That's, oh Jesus. I remember when I was playing it was £1.50 an hour. I mean, £10 an hour for a table, stuff that. I would never pay that for a game of snooker. What, the energy bills? 3 light bulbs in each table. And the energy bills are coming down. Well, like most snooker clubs, they don't make, if it's run well enough, they don't make money out the snooker, they make money out at the bar. So presumably they've got a bar. I know my snooker club I used to go to, they had discos on and everything, and they made all their money in selling the beer. You don't make money, with half a dozen snooker tables. It's all the other facilities that you've got that will pay out. Right, I think it's time we had a quick tab just to see how things are going, and at the moment it's 5 apiece with Stubb and Linus, so Linus is hanging in there. Slim's probably at work, and if he was around he would have probably been live streaming that match, and I could have had his stream up on the internal browser. Well, Cobra on the stripes, just needs to get a hold of the cue ball here. It's just a soft little diggy punch here just to hold the cue ball. I can't see him not being on the 8 ball from it. He just wants to sort of punch this in, but not too heavy, and just drag the pace off it. That was perfect. So, quick reply from Cobra to go back into the lead. So, break goes back to LS3, and again she's slamming this cue ball, and that's twice she's had a break. The first one, the cue ball went flying off the table. The second one, she scratched. So she needs to either take the amp off the cue if she's amping it before she's breaking. She doesn't need to hit that as hard. I mean, the amount of balls on the table, you just need to get them moving, and sooner or later one of them will find a pocket. You don't need to slam it hard. So hopefully she's learning from those 2 mistakes, because again it's giving Cobra a free go here. Ball in hand in the kitchen, and this is certainly requiring a bit of thought before you make a move. If he's going to take the stripes, he's got to pot that 9 and probably stun and try and bump the 6 and free up that. Is that the 11 ball or the 13? It's the 13. Does he need to free it up? Yes, he does, because it doesn't go. And he's had a bump in behind, and that'll work. So that's dealt with that issue. The other issue, well, there isn't really one, provided he can just bump the 12 in and get up, maybe bump the 14 and take the 13. That would be the shot to probably try here. Just try and bump that 14. Well, he's went forward and bumped to 8 and finished square, but I'm surprised he's not taking the 13 and bumping the 8 here, because the 13 cuts and the 13 would be awkward to leave to get to good as a last ball. But he's taking the 14, he might be holding for the 13 here. Now has he got the angle? He's absolutely bolt straight, but he can pinch a bit. I think he can pinch a wee bit to the right side of the pocket here. And does he really want to nudge that 8 out of the way now? Because 8 obviously goes into this corner. And he's got the 15 ball down the table. That's the other. So there's a pattern he's got to work out here where he's happy before he makes his next move. And that 13, if he was there, he'd have been probably played it by now. If he was there, he's just a bit too straight in the 13. Now he can have another go coming back off the 10 if he wants to do that. And he's got an angle the other way. Well, the 11 goes into this side past the 4 ball. He's trying to get around the corner to get out. Now, this is just a little holding shot, I think, unless he wants to roll through for the 15 into this side pocket. I think you can just sort of, can you not just drag this in? He's just holding it. And he's now got the angle to come back across to the 8. This was not an easy table, but again his control has got him there. And of course he's going to have the break next rack, and he's going to have a 2 rack gap. So Cobra does everything right in this game of 8 ball, regardless of whether it's Navate, but you've got to reassess the situation at certain times. And you know, he stuck at it and found the way out. It was tricky to get that last ball to get to the 8, but again he controls the cue ball pretty well most times, and he got there. Oh, now that's getting very interesting. That is getting extremely interesting. We'll hang off for a couple of more minutes. I don't know, maybe Linus is playing a bit more comfortable because he knows that there's no streaming going on. So it might be good to just hang off for maybe another rack in here before we have another look at the score. So meanwhile, Cobra has committed to the stripes, and he's got no problems with the stripes over the top left hand corner. He's got the 13 ball into the side pocket or down into the corner here, and the 11 ball is the one that's going to be the issue, mainly because it's isolated down at the bottom of the table here. I mean, it's got a pocket to go into. You know, it will go past the 2, but again, you've just got to find a way to get down there. Now, the 14 ball would be ideal to do that, and that's presumably what he's going to do now. I don't know whether he wanted to be sort of almost on top of the 8 ball, but he's going to come down for the 11, I would believe. It's the only ball he's got the angle on to come down table. And more than likely this 8 ball is going to end up in this pocket. So make sure you overhit this so that you get up the table and you don't interfere with that 6 ball. That's the rule here. Oh, he's overcooked it, I think. Has he overcooked it big time? Oh, I think he's okay. I think he could just get a whisker of that pink, what is it, the pink 12. Yes, it is. So this is just a dead weight dink on the 15 ball, and probably just spin to the rail and push this down the rail, this 8 ball. Does he want to try and come up the table? He could do that. He could come up the table into the gap. Well, that was a huge risk, and it's gone pear-shaped. Why did he bump the 8? I mean, that's crazy. But again, I've said it last night, you know, it's amazing how silly little things you do can end up getting yourself in a hole. And all he had to do was miss the 8 ball, whatever he did. If he'd come in the gap between the 6 and the 8 ball, he was still fine. And if he'd just dinked the 15 in a lot slower and softer, he could have cut it down the rail. Well, I'm glad I've got that in video, because that was nuts, that shot. Well, I'm going to say this, coldest pillow. Linus hit a crazy shot, and then my addition to that is and 8-5. Well, is Stubb paying the price for being far too loose with the cue ball? Has Linus settled down and put Stubb in trouble? We'll never know, because we're obviously not watching it. But I'm a bit scared to go back into his room in case that jinxes him. Well, he's 8-5 in front and in an alternate break. That's a strong position. Well, Cobra's doing an awful lot of thinking here. An awful lot of thinking, and I don't know what it is he's thinking though. Now, he's called it into the opposite side pocket. What's he trying to do? Is he trying to... I haven't a foggiest idea what he's trying to do here. Is he trying to slam the rail? Well, that's a big fail from Cobra, because that last shot from the 15 ball was not difficult, and he did the cardinal sin in bumping the 8. Did he deliberately bump the 8 and hoped it would come up good? But because whenever there's a ball adjacent and you're doing that, things like that can happen. You can't afford to be taking liberties and just hoping that you're going to come out smelling the roses. Well, I'll tell you something else. If LS3 can't get this done, she's got no chance getting back into this match if she can't take this out. So it's Stubb that can't get the job done. Well, I'd be taking the 1 ball, the 3 ball, the 2, and then getting that 6 ball. That's what I'd be doing. Because you're taking the 6 ball, you could end up lying on top of a ball here. Like that. And leaving it awkward. You see, now it's awkward because you're having to cue down on the cue ball. And you've got to make sure you go out past that too, so that you can get to the 1. So this is, again, I would never have played the 6 ball there. Because you're hoping the cue ball comes down into a space. If you land on a ball, you can end up getting awkward like that. Okay, it may well still come out fine. But I would have left the 6 ball as the last ball if that was me, because it's out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing near it going to cause any harm, and you can go on the 8 ball easy enough from it. But she's got out. But that isn't the way I'd have done it. So we'll give her the 8 ball to get back to within 1 rack. We'll have a quick look, and we'll see that Stubb has got it back to 8-6. So we're into rack number 8, LS3 breaking out. Now she's probably taking the amp off, because that was a much better break. And the ball has gone. Now again, well, if you look at the stripes there, they're all there. That one there, there's a crescent of balls there, and there's one problem ball there, which you can get to by taking the 15. Now, you can do that right now, LS3. If that was me, I'd be doing it right now. I'd be potting the 10, potting the 15, and bumping into the 5 and getting rid of that 9 if I'm committing to the stripes, because you're dealing with it immediately. There's no way you can leave that 9 ball sitting there. You've got to take the 10, 15, bump the 5, get rid of the 9, and spin yourself out. You'll probably be unlucky not to be on the next ball. And this 8 ball's isolated down here out the way of trouble, as long as you come down the right side on it. So this just needs to jack up slightly for a little stun. I think you've got to play a little stun. Do you want to be trying to be gentle? You see, you've got to play the stun. If you play the stun, you're going directly to it. The commentator's eye says that's what you had to do. You had to stun that so that you went direct rather than running, because you end up going awkward like that. If you play the stun, there was no way it could have been as awkward as this, because you're going to hit that full in the face and be sort of more or less lying there. Bank's still on though, but again the cue ball's running into trouble. And again, well, I don't want to be critical, but I'll be critical. I mean, that shot there to me had to be a stun, so that you're going directly to the other ball to use the other ball, rather than just letting it run and spin into something. It can always end up going wrong. It was far better to me to stun that in, get a hold of the cue ball and get it directed towards those 2 balls in the side rail and hold for that ball. But and these are mistakes that you can't afford to do when you're up against Cobra. You've got to put pressure on him, and to do that in this game, you have to be making the right choices, or you have to be making better shot choices to do that. Well, Cobra on the solids, and he's finished again. Really awkward. In fact, he can't see the 5 ball, or can he? Can he get enough of that 5 ball? No, he can't. And this is probably the worst place he could have ever finished with the cue ball. He might have to. Mind you, there's no jump cues. Steve said that last night. Oh, he's there. No. Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, LS3, I mean, I'm going to be hypercritical, and obviously I'm not an expert in how to do things, but LS3's not made the best choices. She's had 2 duff breaks where she's hammering the break shot, and she's off the table once and scratched the next time. And she's had chances, but well, Cobra just dogged a sitter there. And hang on a minute as well, Stubb.
Yeah, I know Stubb was down last time I looked.
He's back to within 1. He's still trailing by 1. It's 8-7 to Linus. And
well, I came in when LS3 had the shot. She shot and should have got on the 9 ball, and instead had to bank it. And
yeah, well, that shot, Steve, I was saying in the commentary, what she had to do there was stun the ball in, so the cue ball went directly to those 2 balls just to hold there for the 9. She started running it loose, and it ended up awkward.
Well, that's
how I would have played it.
It just had to roll forward. It was going to be fine. But you know, I think this is one of the differences between players like LS3, Tommy, and good players that have trouble beating people like Cobra and Albin. I think one of the big differences is precision cue ball control.
Yeah,
I mean, they move the cue ball pretty good, but they don't have the same kind of precision.
Yeah, but she's also, I just think she's gone about things And she's had situations here already tonight where she's made them more difficult than they actually were.
Sure.
You know, and that's the thing you can't be doing. When you're given chances, you can't be doing that. Now
Yeah, you
this
make a
looks
bad
like,
choice or you don't move the cue ball good. Like there, she should be
well,
way closer to that 12 ball.
yeah, this is, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean, it'll still work, but
big big draw. You know, even if
yeah,
you
I mean,
bump the seven
this
and
is,
it doesn't matter.
yeah, unless you lock it against the 7. That's the only way you can really go
Well,
south.
that's well played.
Yeah, I mean, LS3 is a good player. Just to get to the next level, I think she's going to need more precision. Doing things like the drills that we put up is a great way to learn more precision.
Well,
Because you'll go crazy trying to do them until you get the precision.
the one thing is though, she's still well in the game, 3 apiece. So it's not doom and gloom and everything's all over. She's still in the game because Cobra's given her that chance and she's took it this time. Cobra's break's also dry. I'm doing a quick tab again. Stubbs 8 apiece now with Linus, so Linus's 3 rack leads gone. And I can't be blamed for it because I've stayed out the room.
Well, I mean, LS3 plays good enough to win this match, but
Oh yeah, I mean she's good enough to win
she's
it. But
she's gonna probably need some help from Cobra or have some things go her way because Cobra is definitely a significantly better at executing. I'm not sure that he knows 8-ball strategy better than her. I haven't really seen either one of them play. But the strategy, you can make up for a lot with the strategy.
well, LS3, what's she doing? Kicking this 14 in?
She's banking the 15 into the 14, I think.
Which is good in
I,
terms of getting, clearing it out of the way.
yeah, I'm not
But
sure that
the
that's.
15's
I
now
don't.
tied up.
I'm not sure that was the best play. I would have probably taken the solids. I'm not sure why she took the stripes.
Well, she's going to have to play a combo on that 9 and 15. And she's on it probably as
Yeah,
good as she's going to be right now. I'd be doing it right now.
yeah. Plus, you can move the 10 over in front of the side pocket at the same time. You just. This is a little weird because you don't want to put the 9 over by the 8. You need to get the 4 out of there, but you want to leave the 9 there. You got to hit this so that the 9 stays and the 4 goes. So you want to cut the 4 back. Yeah, see, she needed to get the 4 to go, and that's no good. She needed to cut that a little bit more so the 4 would move over down the rail a little.
I think I tend to agree with you, looking at where all the solids are sitting there
Yeah, I would have
in
taken the
terms of
solids
the
there.
choice of balls.
I mean, there were less problems. And then you leave, you would have left the 15 there with 8 in the way.
Well, now the 12's dead. Nine's no use where it's sitting, and Cobra has become favourite for the rack right now.
Yeah, she's in trouble here. At this point, I'd probably be thinking about trying to get something over in front of the 4 ball. Maybe cut the 13 across and try to get it in front of the 4. And if you do that, you can run into the 12 and move the 12 ball since it's dead. That's a shot I like. See, that's the worst thing she can do is make that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because now she's committed and this table's terrible. I mean,
Oh, absolutely nothing she can do here other than keep trying to pop balls and somehow do something to get onto that 9. But I mean, it's pointless because Cobra's going to run this table when he gets a sniff.
I mean, she had an opportunity to put the 13 in front of the 4 and move the 12 ball, which is not in a good spot, in one shot,
Well,
do 2 productive things, and
that's not a bad shot though, because he can't get enough of the 4 ball to pot it.
No, but he can just roll up on it. He can kick down the table if he wants to. I mean, I might do that. I wouldn't hit it that hard. Okay, he double kissed it. That's okay. he could have just kicked down and you know, tried to run into the 1 or 7 or 5. I mean, you weren't going to miss those balls.
Stubbs in front now. He's won 5 in a
See,
row, or 4 in a row, is it?
Cobra's got a problem now because the 13 ball goes past the 4, and that's not good. So that was a good shot, but it's not good enough. It did get the 12 ball in front of some balls.
Yeah, it's created a bit of a mess up there for Cobra. So again, I mean, there is a problem there, so it's interesting to see how Cobra's going to deal with it.
He's got a lot of options here to deal with this. Well, I mean, he could play safe now, but I think he's probably going to end up shooting.
I think he could get a fair chunk of that 5 ball and bump stuff, or he could play the 2 and spin across if he wants.
Yeah, that's kind of tricky from off the rail here. I mean, with a cue ball close to the rail, that's a tough shot. He's looking at playing safe off the 3 ball and trying to duck behind the 12, which isn't a bad shot. But you can't leave her a shot on the 13. That's the only problem. If you're going to play a safety, yeah, he's going to shoot the ball. If you're going to play safety, you cannot leave her a shot on the 13.
I wonder if he's looking at that 5 ball, because I think you can get to that 5 and pot it.
Yeah, he's playing a combo right now. And he decided to come around behind. Well, the problem there is that the 3 ball is now dead, and
that's
you
very
could play
tight.
safe here.
That 3 ball is very tight up the rail.
I would shoot the 7 and pin the cue ball on the 5. Now she's got a pretty easy safe there because she can kick behind the 12, but you know, sometimes you need to test people and see if they're going to play smart. I mean, I wouldn't be shooting ball here. I would be making the 7 and pinning her on the 5, and let's see what she does. So I don't like that play. He's going to try to run out, and he's got to shoot the 5 now.
He's bumping the 3 out now.
He's got to shoot the 5 and move the 3. You know, the problem is the 1 does go, but it's tight. I would have waited. That's the thing with this game is you can. No, I didn't like that.
Why didn't he take the 5?
Yeah, he was trying. I think he's thinking I'm going to move the 12 and it won't be in the way of the 1 either. The 1 did go by it, but I mean that was just. Yeah, that was asking a lot. He should have played the 5 and ran the cue into the 3 ball.
Well, do you not just bump the 5 and sit on top of that 12? A bit like that.
Yeah, that's a good shot. I mean, simple. And that's what you want to do is look for simple.
You know, that leaves LS3 absolutely nothing.
Well, the interesting thing.
I mean, can she not maybe slide across the left long rail and try and come back in a line behind those 2 balls, the 5 and the 3?
Yeah.
You've ended up here probably in the next shot.
Yeah.
But
well, the other thing is she can put his 1 ball in trouble. You know, shoot the 12 into the 1 and put the 1 ball in trouble up by the 13. You know, make it so that he isn't in a situation where he can run balls. And she kind of did something similar there, except this is actually too good for him. You bank the 5 ball, slide into the 3, and then you got the 1 ball. He can win from here. And since he knows how to bank now. Now, the one thing about this bank is you've got to hit this the right way because you've got to slide the cue ball straight across. You could let it go forward and run into the 1. He's not going to do either of those. Now, I like that, and the reason why I like that is because it shows patience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you don't see players do in this game is they're too impatient.
Yeah, there was no need to get over ambitious here. Yeah. You've done the right thing.
Yeah. Patience is a good virtue in this game.
Now, is she trying to skim in behind the 4? I don't think she's got the line for that. Now that'll work though. That'll work. That's actually giving her a chance to get back in this that shot there.
Well, the thing is the 13 ball is a dangerous ball because it goes off the rail, off the 4 ball, and clears everything out. So if you're Cobra, you cannot give her a shot on that 13 ball because that's a winner there.
Yep. There's loads of room to get that 13 into the rail and off the 4 and in the pocket.
Yep. And then it clears up the 9. So, I mean, it's you got to be smart here. You don't, you can hit the 1 ball and come back some, but you just cannot give her a shot on the 13 into that corner. And that's what he's going to do. That's a good shot.
Right.
Now she's got an opportunity here. She can cut this 12 ball in and go around the corner.
It's 9 apiece with Stubborn Linus.
We might have to go watch that. That's because everybody wants to see Stubb lose.
Right, well, we'll go at the end of this rack then. And hopefully...
The aggressive play is back cut this 12 ball, go 2 rails and come around and try to bump the 13. She's looking somehow to play safe. She's in a tough spot here because she gives up a shot and Cobra's probably going to run out.
Well, your shot's on now, Steve. She couldn't be any better than this 13 to play it.
Yep. I mean, that's a winning shot there. This is sitting perfect.
Yeah. I mean, this is make or break, this one.
Now, what you don't want to do is shoot this straight in. You got to play this off the rail and move the 4. Yeah. And I would think that she's an experienced enough player to realize that. Some people might try to make the 13 and bank the 9 on the side, but that's the wrong play. You got to play this off the 4 ball.
Got to get it to the rail first.
You want to go forward with the cue ball because that's the most natural thing here. Yeah, see, she tried to shoot it straight in.
She tried to go direct. Yeah, had to go to the rail first.
All right, well, I would have thought she would have known that shot because I think she plays a fair amount of 8 ball, and that shot comes up quite a bit playing off other balls.
Anybody that's played VP4 for any number of years would see that shot every day of the week and not play it that way. Not try and get it in clean. You had to take some of the rail first and an edge of the ball and give it a chance to go in.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had to do it just to get the shot on the 9 because, you know, you had to move the 4 ball. Yeah, I don't get that.
Cobra, we'll give Cobra this rack. We're heading out. I'm going to jump into that match.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to me to see that because, like that kind of stuff just drives me crazy.
So we've got Linus on the stripes, 9 apiece, race to 11, round 2 match. And that cue ball's, it's going to end up dead, I think. Has he got a shot in that pink? I think he has.
So I'm sure Stubbs' playing just try to run out every time.
Oh, he's having a blast and hoping he comes up with that. You know, he's running in percentages. He's thinking in percentages that if I run the cue ball and I can see my ball, I'll be able to pot it. He's running back to his old habits. But
well, he probably doesn't know how to play 8 ball, even though he lives in the U.S. and should. He probably doesn't.
Well, he's going to be on the hill in a minute here, unless some disaster befalls him. It's unlikely, though.
Yeah, I don't see how he's going to mess this up. One thing about Stubb is he runs balls good, and he's got too much experience to do something stupid and hook himself.
Well, I'd just be dinking this in and coming back. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, you just come back to the long rail. You don't need to do anything fancy. Just like that.
Now, the break goes back to Linus, so he needs a good break. Because it's a break to try and survive on the winner's side.
Well, the good thing if you're stub is, you know, you've got a break to win no matter what happens.
Well, 11 balls going in the side, but it's a proper mess now. A proper mess up there.
Yeah, that
Well,
rack didn't come apart good. This is
dead set combo. He doesn't need to worry about that.
yeah, and
Yeah, he had to do something, but he's made it worse.
well, no, he did get the 8 ball out of there, so that was good. But
13's
the
tied up.
13 is not good.
14's hidden away.
So at this point, he can play safe off the 12. He's got a pretty easy safety. I'm not quite sure what that was, but he came out of it pretty good.
Well, Stubbs got a... Again, he's just running the ball loose again. I don't know why he didn't take the 4 ball there and nudge out his 1.
Well, you can almost shoot to 6. I'd shoot to 6 and put it in front of the pocket probably here. I don't know. You got to decide if you're going to try to run out or not. I guess with Stubb, there's no decision because he's just going to try to run out every time.
Well, if he can see enough of that 6 to cut it, he might have a blast. Yep. I don't think he can get to the 6 looking at it. He can't get to that 6.
But where he was sitting after the last shot, he could have shoved the 6 right in front of the corner pocket, which would make it very difficult for Linus to win from there. I mean, table position's everything. You got the 6 ball in front of the pocket and the 3 balls hung in the pocket, and you know what's Linus going to do?
There he's running loose again.
And instead, all he does is he clears up the 6 ball away from the 13 for Linus and gives him ball in hand.
Now, does Linus have to play the combo here? I think he does.
Yeah,
he's got to play the combo.
But, you know, this is just roll forward and nudge the 6 ball, just like that.
Oh,
you missed the ball. Oh, my God.
Oh, that, well, the only saving grace is that he's blocked the pocket. The problem is that Stubbs in a position where he doesn't need to worry about that.
No, I mean, other than the fact these balls are all close together, and that makes it a little tricky to run them, you know, you should be able to figure out how to run these 3 balls. It's a little bit tricky. The 6 ball does go up table.
He doesn't need to bump anything.
Well, that's not very good.
No, that is
not very good.
And he's going to go for the big cut here. And the cue ball
running loose again. He's turning it loose here. It's going to go 3 rails, and oh boy.
And he's going to have a shot.
This is terrible watching this. That should have gone in the corner pocket. That was a terrible shot. Oh, look at this.
He's at it again. And now he's
he thinks he's going to win this championship playing like this.
I said that, Steve. As soon as Stubbs started doing it, when I was watching it before the other match started, I said that he's not going to win this tournament doing this stuff.
This is the Stubb of old. You know, the thing is this takes a little bit more. He started playing a little better 9 and 10 ball. You know, not just slamming balls. And the thing is that this game takes a little bit more intellectual capacity, and I think it's just beyond him. I mean, he's not going to spend the mental effort to try to think about what to do. He's just going to blast them.
Yeah.
Which means he's not going to last long in this tournament. I mean, I don't see how he's going to beat any of the better players.
Well, Cobra, I think, is 5-3 in front. And Linus has a chance to take this all the way. Now,
well, you just got to play for the 14 on the side pocket here.
Oh dear,
he should have played. He should have played for the 14.
What the hell's he done here?
Well, he'd come off the rail here and get on the 14. Well, he should have played for the 14 there. I don't know what he was doing.
Does he not want to just spin the edge of that 14 and go behind the 8 here and just bide his time?
I'd probably shoot this, but I know where the cue ball's going.
Just got to get a gentle touch here if he wants to try and go up behind that 8 ball.
Yeah, I mean, he should have played for shape on both the 12 and the 14 off that last shot.
He's not trying to bank this, is he? See, the only thing with leaving the cue ball exposed is he's left Stubb a bank here. He
Well,
probably won't get the cue ball out of the way.
you can also make the 1 in the same pocket.
Yeah, he can get it to follow, can't he?
Yeah, he's not trying that. He's just going to try to bank it.
I'm surprised he didn't play that a lot more gentle to try and leave that cue. See, that's the thing. You leave stuff at this is going to scratch, is it? No. See, he should have tried to play that gentle to use that 8 ball. You leave stuff any sort of sight, he's going to have a blast.
Well, I would have kicked off the end rail into the 12 because I know I'd get the cue ball up far enough where I could shoot the 8.
Well, Stubb goes through. Linus had the match there to take it all the way. He had the chance to do it, but you know, again.
Well, Stubb's not going to last in this tournament because not playing like that.
Right, let's head back in to Cobra LS3. So Stubb gets through, but he's had. I mean, if the warning signs aren't there for him, he's taking liberties. I think he's taking liberties because he's playing Linus and he doesn't really know him. And you know, any other decent player, and I'm talking about going deeper into the tournament and coming up against somebody like, you know, Albinario, Cobra, Bedhead, you know, they'll just feed off that kind of stuff that he's doing.
Sure.
But he'll never learn.
Well, you know, I'm a little bit miffed that people aren't playing a little better strategy in this. I know there's people that are playing 8 ball on a fairly regular basis. I think part of the problem is that if you don't have at least one person that really knows how to play the game well, then it's hard to learn it. Because when you play somebody that really plays it well and they start doing certain things that you don't do, then you see it and you go, oh, well, you know, that's a good play, you know. And otherwise, you're figuring out everything on your own, and that's hard to do. I mean, I learned a ton playing 8 ball with my mentor, Frank the Barber, and you know, and I'd played a fair amount of 8 ball, but there was a lot of stuff he taught me that I didn't know. Well, and I think that we got a problem in VP4 where we're just, you know, Semi-Pro is probably the one that knows how to play the 8 ball the best, but I don't know how much 8 ball he really plays with it, anybody else.
This match is running away from LS3, 6-3
well,
to
I mean,
Cobra at the moment.
It was sort of bound to happen because
he's got to make something of this, and this is a good table.
She's made some bad decisions, and you know you can't do that when you're the player that doesn't execute as well.
I think it's got to be. Has it got to be solids?
I would take the solids from here. Yeah.
I mean, if the 6 goes into the side,
just the 15 ball alone is a big problem. I mean, the solids are pretty easy to run out.
Yeah.
You just got to decide which order you're going to do them in. We're shooting a 7 ball here. 7-4, probably 6-2 or 2-6, depending on how you get on it.
Oh, she's probably going 2-1 here.
Yeah, and that may be okay.
Get rid of that.
I don't like leaving the 6 to the end. She didn't get on the 1 very good. That's the problem. I mean, you really want to shoot the 1 now, but you put herself, well, plus she's got the wrong angle on it. She needs to be on the other side of the ball. And that's not bad because she's going to shoot the 6 now, which I kind of like. Or the 3. She can't shoot the 3. She can shoot the 6, probably up in the corner pocket.
Well, if she's going to shoot the 6, she's got to get that cue ball into a spot where she can see the 7, which she has done.
Yeah. Now, your choice here is hit the 7 with a ton of right English and kill the cue ball and go 7-4. And believe it or not, 7-4, you can hold the cue ball there for the 4 if you know that shot. If you don't know that shot, you better be shooting the 3 ball. Now she may try to shoot the 7 and come all the way across, but you can dink this with the right English and hold the ball there. But if you shoot the 3 ball, it's pretty easy. Well, see, she didn't dink it with. You got to hit that ball with a lot of right English so it kills. She could have shot the 3 with a little bit of left English and killed it on the rail and got the 4 or the 7. I mean, if you don't know that shot on the 7, you really should shoot the 3.
Deal with Stubb, Steve. He's rabbiting away there. He's rabbiting away. LS3's asking for him to deal with him. He's in here bumping his gums as usual. And LS3's making life difficult for herself again. It's a good recovery.
Yeah, I mean, but
this
is
is
what we were talking about earlier. I mean, her cue ball movement, she doesn't have the precision game. Albin probably has the best game as far as precision.
That's good.
But Cobra's close. I mean, Cobra and Albin play a little different because Cobra plays a lot more draw shots than Albin. Albin rolls the cue ball more. Which one's better for 8-ball? The way Albin plays is actually better for 8-ball, more rolling. But, you know, Cobra banks better than Albin. So, you know, those two are going to be pretty even in this.
Well,
everybody else got to catch
bonus,
up.
a bonus for LS3. Invitation to the party from Cobra. So
and that's what she needs.
Too.
She needs some help from him, and there it was.
Right,
and
well, what do you go for here, Steve? Solids, I mean, there are 3 solids up there, all wide open.
I like the solids better, just because of the stripes on the rail. I mean, they're both doable, but I would take the solids.
Now, the only tricky thing is the 1 ball and dropping onto the 6.
Well, that's easy. I mean, you just got to get the right angle.
You got to get the right angle, that's the thing.
She just screwed up right off the bat.
Yeah.
She was supposed to get on the 4 ball, and she didn't. Right off the bat, she screwed up.
Well, because she can overcut this one and into the side of the pocket and come across to the 6. Well, she managed to stun it. That'll work.
Yeah, that was the right shot. But she should. All she had to do is shoot a stop shot on the 5, and she was on the 4, and she backed it up and snookered herself.
Linus, we're rooting for you there at the end, mate.
Yeah, you played well.
I mean, that shot that you had, I said in the commentary, I said, why doesn't he just try and skim the edge of the ball, whatever ball it was, your last ball or the second last ball, and try and just tuck behind the 8 ball, but you hit it like a sledgehammer. And I said, if you leave Stubb any sort of sight on that 1 ball, he's going to bank it somewhere, and sure enough, he did.
All right, here's the key shot.
Yeah.
This is a shot. This is the key shot right here. I like what she's doing shooting the 7, better than the 4. You got to get good on this 3 ball, and she didn't. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's no good.
She didn't get a hold of the cue ball.
Boy.
She just letting it, playing the pot, but not thinking about the control part of the cue ball.
Now she's got a lot of trouble because it's difficult to shoot the 3 in the side. There's a big scratch there.
Yeah.
And if you try to jack up and stun it, there's a good chance you'll scratch off the 13. So you got to shoot it in the corner, and then it's tricky getting on the 4. Oh boy, you really want to hit this with speed because you want to go around the 14. I wouldn't jack up. I would hit this. Oh boy, I wouldn't hit it like that.
And the other problem is the line of balls. The 8
there
balls get in, and that's a rat gone.
And but this is one of the reasons why it's good to play this kind of game on a bar table, because you see there it was super critical that she moved that cue ball off the 7 and got on the 3 pretty straight. It needed to be a precise movement, and she wasn't able to do it. And when you play on a big table, you can get away with being a little sloppier sometimes. This bar table, you got to get in the right spot, and the spot may be pretty small.
Well, I'll say this, Linus. You didn't get beat by the winner of the tournament. You have no fear of that.
Yeah, he's not going to win playing like that.
Because he's going to be heading over to that one-loss side to join you sooner or later. So, Cobra back to a 3-rack lead, and of course, alternate break.
Well, this is an interesting shot.
A jump combo. Or a jump combo.
No, 3-ball combo.
Oh no, they were all stripes. I thought one of them was a solid. Now, all of the stripes.
I would shoot the 10 here, come out where you got a shot on 11 that you can shoot the 11 and then shoot the 15.
Now,
and that's what she's doing. Oh, she bumped 11.
Yeah, don't you play the 12 now, Steve, and then play the combo on that 15, 11?
She could, yeah. I mean, the 11 was good, but now she bumped it and it's no good.
Right. Well,
she could play the 9-ball, but I don't think that's a wise move. I would probably do your shot. Yeah, so the problem with this shot is now.
Well, the 15's isolated now.
Well, but yeah, now you got problems with that 15. Yeah, because you're gonna hit it, and are you gonna get it into a spot where you've got a shot?
Why not cut that? See, that's risky as well. You cut the 12 with loads of right English, and you might end up making things worse than they are. Well, that's no good.
That's no man's land. You know, she needed to hit that harder. Knew the bump was coming. Needed to get that cue ball to move out of there. Well, she's going to cut this 14. It's rapidly going downhill here.
Yeah, this is what's happening far too often for LS3. It's just going pear-shaped very quickly.
Yeah, well, it's the cue ball movement. And, you know, I'll tell you, on a bar table, you can get away with not moving it super precise a lot of times just because it's easy to make balls.
Well,
but especially when there's a lot of balls on your opponent's balls on the table, you know, there's times where you need to get in the right spot or you're in trouble.
Well, she's going to get out of here because the 8-ball goes clean. She could roll the 12 in.
Yeah, this is, she's going to get out, but she's doing it the hard way.
Yeah, that's my criticism.
This catches up with you, you know, because it just means the percentage of chance of getting out is lower. And it's all about percentages. It's like, you know, if you're playing somebody that gets out 80% of the time and you got 60% of the time, guess what? You're going to lose unless, you know, you get really lucky or something. Yeah, because it's...
She's just staying in touch.
Yeah. Cobra.
That's a ball.
I'll be very surprised if Cobra doesn't win this match, just because I don't think she's playing good enough to win it.
Well, looking at the table,
you got to take the solids.
6-ball cleanly goes, the 4 balls guarding the pocket, you've got the 1 and 2 down this end with the 7, you've got the 3 in the rail. I'd be taking the 3 first and getting that out of there. That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, you got to take the solids, and I agree, I'd take the 3 first too.
Get the 3, get yourself out into the table, and then make the rest of your decisions after that shot.
Get the 3, play the 2 onto the 1, and play shape for the 5-ball.
Yeah, because the 5 ball's just awkward because the 14's sort of hampering access to it. So again,
well, you got plenty of room there.
Yeah, but you know, you always worry about getting wrong, not good in the ball that you're trying to get onto. So you want to take that sooner rather than later, though, and that'll do it.
Sure. Well, you want to have an escape valve so that if you don't get on it right, you got other balls you can shoot it.
Well, I think he can get most of the 5 ball.
He can shoot the 5. And if he's going to shoot the 5 from this angle, he'd want to roll forward and probably shoot the 6 in the pocket by the 4. Now, there is an issue with where that 8-ball is because, well, the 6 goes in the other pocket, so.
Well,
he'll probably stun this back out. There is an issue with where that 8-ball is because you've got a fairly small area to get to where you can make that 8-ball easily.
Well, I wouldn't want
That's
to
the
be
challenge
playing. I
here.
wouldn't want to be playing the 4-ball to go on the 6 if I'm in the wrong angle. Is he going to leave the 6 as the last ball to run through and drop the shorter side for the 8-ball into the right
I
hand
think he
corner?
probably will, and I think that's probably a smart idea because when you're in a situation, you know, and you should have a plan. This is how I'm going to run it out, and I think that is a good plan, leaving the 6-ball as the key ball,
Yeah, you see, the
because
thing is though,
otherwise it's tough.
it's leading up to a critical shot though in a minute. The critical shot is getting us in,
Well,
bumping that 15 ball sort of created more
he's already in
traffic.
trouble. He needs to hit the 7 with a lot of left English and low, and bring the cue ball behind this 14 ball so he can shoot the 4. And it's going to be tricky. This is tricky.
Yeah, I'll tell you
It's
why.
tricky getting from the 4 to the 6.
I'll tell you why it's tricky. The getting from the 4 to the 6 is partially the problem, because he might be the wrong angle and heading away from the 8-ball. He's more than likely he will be.
Well, this is trouble. Well, there are some shots there on the 4 that you can get on the 6 in a good angle, but it's okay though. It's a bar table. Even if you shoot the 6 and you're up at like a diamond below the side pocket on the rail, you can still make that 8.
Oh, I've seen how well these balls cheat the pockets. Well, he's got the bank, and he's got the nudge, and he's got the 4. Now he just needs to come up past the 9.
He's in a great spot where he can get the angle he wants. Now you don't want to come too far.
No, you want to just get into that spot, and
that's
do
perfect.
Very nicely indeed.
And this is why I'm saying about the precision.
Perfect example of how to deal with a problem situation.
That's a good example of moving the cue ball precisely, and that's why he has a big advantage over LS3, that she doesn't have that precision on the cue ball that he does.
Back to 3 and running out of racks.
I'll tell you, those drills, those cue ball movement drills are great. I don't know if anybody ever even does them. You know, I put that stuff up there. Semi-Pro did all of them. I don't think because semi-pro's having trouble winning the world championships that those drills aren't effective. I guarantee you, if you do those drills, you'll get better at moving the cue ball.
So, messy table. I mean, they all seem to be lined up sort of down the centre line, but then when you get to the top of the tables, there's a mess of balls.
Yeah, they're both not so wonderful. The stripes are probably better, but...
Well, how does that look?
He can shoot the 12-14 combo, or she can shoot the 12-14 combo if she wants to take the stripes. That's what I would do. Because the other shot she's got is on the 2-ball, and
you've got a 7-ball that's surrounded. And
it's just that, you know, the 11-13 combo goes, and the 3 and 7 are pretty dead right now.
Well, you'll have missed.
She's going to shoot the 15.
You missed Stubbs' match. We caught a fair chunk of Stubbs' match. He managed to fall over the line against Linus.
Well, that was a good choice there, that she elected not to hit those balls down on the rail.
So LS3's chosen the stripe. I think there's a bit of ducking and diving coming up here in the not too distant future. There's got to be a fair bit of ducking and diving here.
Well, what you don't want to do is put it down there where she can run into the 7, or he could run into 7 or the 3. Mm-hmm. You don't want to give him a chance to move those balls.
Well,
because she's going to move them herself, which is fine. I mean, that's not a terrible choice. I mean, she had a chance to move balls, and she hit them, and she got fortunate. They came out really good, so now she should win from here.
It's a commitment to get the job done. The question is whether she'll be able to do it. Now, do you get across the other side for this 14 in the side, Steve?
I would shoot for the 13. You've always got the 14. I would come across for the 13 here.
Back across.
Well, I wouldn't have done that.
I'm not sure
because you don't want the single on the 11. Well, she's going to almost have to shoot the 14 here, unless she can do something crazy. She wanted to shoot 13, 11, 14 in that situation, and I know it's an extended ball, but I think that was the best pattern in that situation. Um,
Well,
she certainly doesn't want to be where she is.
you got to hit
So
the 5 here.
what I would do here is shoot the 14, run into the 5. It's going to hit the right side of the 5, and you'll have a shot on the 13 and go 13 to 11. So she's going to bump the 5, and the cue ball is going to move over. Now she doesn't want to draw this. That's the wrong thing to do. She came out okay, but it was just simple just to roll it and bump the other side of the ball.
There's a problem now because that 5 ball's now blocking the path for the 8 ball into one of the pockets.
That's one of the problems with doing it that way, because it was uncontrolled. The way I was talking about doing it, you're just going to gently brush the 5.
And there's the
this is still doable. She needs to get the right angle on the 11 ball,
there's
which
a gap
shouldn't
between
be
the
too
6
hard.
and 4.
Well, that's
watch
terrible.
The cue ball. Watch the cue ball.
Oh. But see, the thing is she needed to be on the other side of this 11 ball to get up table. You know what I'm saying? She just needed to stun that off the rail and leave an angle back the other way on the 11. She could come right up and shoot the 8. Instead, she brought the cue ball all the way across. Now you're going to have to draw this ball off the 7, and anything could happen here. I mean, this is,
Oh, this will work. This will work if it nudges. Oh, dear.
Yeah. I told you anything could happen there. That you just didn't want to be shooting that shot. I mean, she hit it pretty good, but I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong there, and it did. Well, this is kickable, and that's going to be a loss because Cobra's running this out.
Oh yeah. That's why it's so painful when you're playing this.
I kind of like. I kind of like.
Job done.
Maybe 6-5-4 or 6-4-5. Yeah, 6-4-5. Leave the 2 ball there as your key ball to get on the 8.
Just roll it in. Yeah.
Yeah, 6-4-5, and then kind of see where you are and make the choice on the other 3.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to make a snapshot of this section if Cobra can't get out here, because this would be an almighty.
Oh no, he'll get out. I would have left angle here to go behind the 8, but this is okay. And this is a good spot. He'll come up and shoot the 1, and then he might roll this for the 3. I would always come up and shoot the 1 and then 3. Personally, that's what he's going to do. See, Cobra plays pretty good patterns. He's played enough pool. He plays good patterns and he moves the cue ball well. His issue in this game is just that I don't think he's played it that much, so he's got some strategy deficiencies. But as far as, running out, he got himself a little straight on this, but it's not going to be a problem. And see, that's a good shot. He leaves himself a very straight angle on it,
Kill it.
Doesn't get funny on it. All he's got to do is stop the ball. Well, and that was a good pattern he played. Everything was simple. There wasn't anything that could go wrong. Never got really out of line. So that's how you want to play pool, is make it look like it's simple. Because it really is if you move the cue ball well.
It's definitely too much of a task now for LS3. Cobra would need to fall apart here.
Well, semi-pro, let me tell you what. If you want to see LS3 do well, you better give her some lessons playing 8-ball. And I would think more importantly, what you really need to do is get her to do the drills, drills that you did that I put up, because her precision cue ball is not there. She needs to learn how to move the cue ball better. I tell people to do those drills. Nobody ever does them. I bet people try them and they do one, and they go, "Oh, this is too hard," or Yeah. But if you do those drills, you'll get a lot better at moving the cue ball.
So Cobra committed to the solids, and looking at the table, I can't see where the problem is. And he's going to get rid of the 10. Come back into the table, probably get rid of it. Is that the 13 or the 12 that's near the 8 ball there?
That's the 13. The other thing, semis, you need
15 for the 13.
You need to start playing 8-ball with these folks, more often, so that they can learn from you. Because we're seeing a lot of bad patterns, a lot of bad choices. I mean, Cobra's patterns are good. and Cobra's cue ball is good. Some of his choices haven't been as far as strategy, but you know, people just don't play this game.
Well, Cobra's on the hill.
Yeah, this was kind of a lot like that Bankster match yesterday, where it was like it was obvious, you know, that Bankster should be winning by a lot, and it turned into that, and same thing's happening here. I don't see how that could be semi-pro. I mean, you've played lots of 8-balls. I mean, the only thing that I would think that Cobra does better than you is bank. Other than that, I would think, you know, you both pocket balls well, you both move the cue ball well, and you should know how to play 8-ball better than him, as much 8-ball as you play.
Well, LS3 might have played a last shot there.
I think you're
gone.
just, I think you're in Stubbish, you're BSing right now, Semi.
By the way, Steve, how are you getting on with those bugs on the internal browser? Have you looked at them yet?
No. Are you talking about the ones like where the interface does funky things?
Yeah.
I've looked at them. I haven't been able to figure out why. I mean, I may just need to upgrade the version of it. I don't know what's going on.
Well, particularly with the time thing on the NRT tournaments. The thing that Larry was talking about, the one I'm talking about, the one
that's not on the browser. That's I've written it down. Does that count?
I mean, we're all imagining you're hard at work fixing these things immediately.
I was hard at work
but
today
then again,
playing golf.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You're hard at work out in the bloody golf course 5 days a week. No wonder you don't get things done.
I'm not playing 5 days a week. No.
Well, you're not admitting it. We'll give you that. Well, Cobra's again doing the right thing. He's looked at the table, he's studied the lay of the balls, and he's finding out where he's going first.
You should have a plan already. Which ball. You may have to modify it, but you should know the order you're shooting each ball right at the start here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I imagine he's going to shoot this 12 and then 9. Oh, that's no good.
I think he's going funny straight away here. I think he's blocked himself. I don't think you see the 15.
No good.
It's amazing how quickly you can go wrong in this game.
Yeah, you got to be precise. He's going to have to shoot the 9-ball on the side. So the biggest problem here is he does have the 13 in the corner. 9-ball on the side, you've got to draw this. You can hold it for the 15. You can get it to go out for the 13.
He might be going
maybe
11.
He can shoot the 11. Oh, he can shoot 11. Okay,
yeah.
That does go. I didn't think he had that. The only problem with 11 is you know what, if you're shooting 11, you're playing shape for the 13. You might get the 9, but you're playing shape for the 13. You've got to spin it and go around the corner behind this 5, 4, and 8. You have to hit this with left English, or you could hit it with right English and try to come straight across.
The closer you go, the more it looks as if he's going
to hit this with right English just a teeny bit. No, he's gonna come around the corner. And that's a good shot. See, I like that shot. The reason why I like that shot is because the cue ball is running at the 13, so it's not so speed critical. As long as you get the line right, you know, you're going to get a shot on the 13.
Yeah.
And that's the way I think about it, is I want to run the cue ball down the lines I'm playing as much as I can and not across the next line. Because if you're running across the next line, the spot you've got is much smaller than if you're running down the line.
Well, the easy ball to get he's trying
to figure out how he's going to do this. I would go 13, 15, 9, and I'll tell you why. Because you can get on the 9 good enough where you can hit it with left-hand English and come back up for the 8. You got to pull it back a teeny bit, but you don't have to be straight on the 9. You can go forward. because it's guaranteed.
Well,
And if you get yourself a little angle back on the 15, you can run into the 2-ball.
well,
So
see,
you roll forward on this, like okay. So from here, you got to make a decision. Am I going to run into the 2-ball or not? This is a kind of a critical decision. Me personally, I would bump the 2
well,
because I know I'm getting on the 9 good. Now
yeah,
he may shoot this 9 and he may shoot this 9 and
well,
try to get on the 15. That's doable too. But if you get funny on the 15, you're in real trouble.
well, this is. I mean, don't forget the 14 balls lying up the table.
Oh, I didn't see the 14.
The 14
Whoops.
ball's a bit of a worry.
Whoops. Yeah, I didn't see that. Well,
And he's the wrong side of the 15, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to spin up where it's sitting. Boy, this is okay. You can go 3 rails with this. I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to go 3 rails off the 15. You got to become behind the 2 and 5 and kind of spin it over. You got to hit this with a lot of English. You come behind those and come up to about, you're going to come up close to the side pocket and then cut the 14 in. That's what he's going to do.
Well, the only problem with this shot is getting anything in the 8.
He can't. He needed to lengthen that out a little. He hit a little too far down the rail there on the last rail.
Well, this has got to be accurate. As he's putting a bit of right on it to try and check it up. He could end up behind the 6. I don't believe he's going to leave himself.
He's probably trying to run into the 2 or the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got trouble.
See, that 14 ball was always sitting there all the rack, and it was the isolated ball, and that's the one I'd have been worried about early on.
The shot I would play here is I would play the 8-ball off the 4 and up into the corner, bank it up in the corner by the 3. Hit the 8-ball into the 4 and bank it off the end rail and up into the 3. That's the shot here. He's going to kick at this. Now, this is a tough kick. It's doable, but it's a tough kick because you have to put English on it, and this is tough to get the angle off the rail.
Well, LS3,
and that's pretty typical as overcooking it. So LS3 is sitting good here.
She's going to survive another rack.
Yeah, and LS3 plays good enough that even though her cue ball isn't super precise, it doesn't need to be when there's no other balls on the table, and she's gonna run this out almost every time.
Well, I'd be taking the 1 and getting the 6 out of the way, and then dealing with the 2 balls up there and the 2. I mean, that's fairly straightforward enough.
Yeah, she's gonna roll through and take the 4 and then the 5 and probably the 2.
How's that angle though?
She left. This is not the angle you wanted. That's funny.
You have to think. You have to think about that before you played the shot.
She's okay. She'll play the 2 in the side pocket. It's okay.
Well, this is dead straight.
Yeah.
There's a little angle there. You've got to punch it in though.
She's gonna have to pull it back. Well, I mean, she's making this tougher than it should have been.
Yeah.
She's able to go forward, but she's still gonna run out. That's what I'm saying is that the bar table, with no other balls in the way to block you, it's so easy to pocket balls here that even if you make mistakes, you're probably going to run out if you're a player like LS3. It's just going to happen for you a lot.
Well, she's got 1, but Cobra again breaking for the match.
Yeah, I mean this is just a matter of time. I mean, for her to win from here is going to take a lot of help from Cobra.
That sounded right.
There's a dry break. Yeah.
Now we have.
Well, she's got a chance to get another one here.
A problem at this end. The 1
I would shoot the 10 and run it. I'd shoot the 10 and run right into that 1 and move those balls. This is a prime opportunity to do it.
Well, that'll work.
Yeah, that'll work.
So
that's all she needed to do. So everything goes now. Yeah, and the 8-ball's in a great spot. It's easy to get to. So from here she should win.
Now you don't want to be leaving that 15-13 as a combo, do you?
Well, you're probably
No.
going to, because shooting the 13 ball
Uh,
here is kind of tricky. I mean, you can shoot it and get on 11, but
well, I think that.
well, no, you
Let's have a
can't
look
because
at the
that
angle.
pocket's blocked. I would definitely shoot the 9 here and come back
Oh, well, I would
and
cut that 13 in with left English and spin behind the 1 and 3, but the only problem there is you're going to bump the 8.
I don't like
Yeah, I
that.
don't like that. The line looks too much. You're taking the 8 and then you're ending up ugly.
Well, she's a little funny here, but she can shoot the 12 and slide by the 7 and then shoot the combo, and for sure she's getting a shot. Let's just make the 12
Well,
and
there's your
the
favourite ball, Steve. That 11 ball sitting there awkward.
yeah,
That's
it
awkward.
is. It is, but it's not.
You know
It's not.
something? Does that not cut that 11 ball? Let's have a look.
You should hit this easy. This is just roll this really easy. Yeah, see, I don't like shooting it that way.
See, now it's gone all pear shaped. There's no
No,
shot
this is
there.
okay. No, she's got the combination, and this is a. It's nice having this angle because even if the 15 ball comes out a little, she'll still have a shot on it. You know, she can't put herself in a spot where she doesn't have a shot on the 15. And you need to get a good shot on the 15 because you got to get on the 11 ball.
Can't overcut this if you don't mean, because that will send that ball
This
to the
this
point.
is just now she's hitting that. See, she's hitting that with all this draw. That you just roll that ball. Because a lot of stuff could have gone wrong there hitting it that hard.
Well, anywhere up in the top half of the table, even if you ran up into the 4 ball.
You know, I think this is kind of like the poker hand. You know, you play the poker hand, you win it, you go, well, I played it the right way because I won. No, that doesn't mean you played it the right way. And that shot
don't go
that she
behind
just
the 4.
played there on the combo was the same sort of thing. You can say, well, I ran out, I played it the right way, but the way she played it, all kinds of stuff could have gone wrong. But she's getting out, so it will be 10-7, and LS3 is now breaking. So if she can break and run out, she could put a little pressure on. She could put a little bit of pressure on Cobra.
Well, 6 balls gone in. Was that the 10 ball went in or something?
Yeah, table's open and.
Or the 11 went in, was it?
Boy, I think you'd like to take stripes here if you could. I mean, you've got the 14 ball is going to be a problem, but let's see, does the 13 go past the 2? Yeah, it does. I mean, I like the stripes here the best. They're both doable.
Now, is she trying to draw into that 7 and 14? Or what's the angle like? I'm better off going behind it to have a look at it. I'd be having a dig here.
You could get to it, I think.
Well, she's going solids.
She's gone solids, which, you know, I mean, it's doable. I mean, she got rid of one problem ball, the 4 ball, by shooting it first,
right,
and she's got rid of the other one. So, I mean, that's a good play. I mean, she's dealt with all the problems. Now all that's left is winning now.
All her balls are in one half of the table, so that's a good thing. You don't have to worry about anything up top side.
This is a great situation.
Now, why not play the? Can she see the 7 to play the little cut onto the 5 and just nudge?
No, she can't. So you know, the ones would be nice to shoot it now, but it's a crappy angle. I think she's got to shoot the 3 and then play the combo. She could shoot the 3 and then shoot the 1, but the problem with shooting the 1 is that you're probably then looking at the 5, which, you know, could be tough to get on the 7. So I think she needs to shoot the 3 and go down and play the 7-5.
Well, she's going to be heading up towards this.
Yeah, if she cuts this thin enough, she'll run into the 7, which is fine. I mean, it's good to get rid of this dang ball. Now she's trying to hit a draw on it. Now she's kind of funny. That's not where you wanted to be. But she can dink this 5 and shoot the 7. I just, these kind of shots, it's real easy and ended up kind of funny on the 7 ball.
She's playing the combo now.
Yeah, well, that's may not be a bad choice because trying to shoot the 5 and get on the 7 a lot can go wrong.
If it bumps the 15, it wouldn't do any harm. And that'll do it.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
And this is fine. You take the 3 ball, take
Yep,
the 7 and just get the cue ball out for the 8 up the table.
This is simple. I'm sure she can do this.
2 rails. Or is she trying to dink it? Well, she's avoided the hook behind the 12.
That's the right thing to do. Make sure go forward a little English. All right, so
well,
that was a good break and run there.
Well, if you're LS3, you just got to keep your fingers crossed that the table is nice for you and you can take it out. That's all that is available to you. So she's done well there. Back to within 2. Break goes back to Cobra, always breaking for the match now. And he's got a ball.
Yeah, and that's the problem, alternate break and stuff, he's not going to keep scratching, so. Well, this is a tough table, though. I mean, this is no gimme table.
Well, yeah, I think
he could have trouble running out here.
I think he's taking solids, looking at this.
I think the solids are better. But
the only worry, of course, is the 4 ball. The 1 ball's there though, which is handy because the 4 goes on the side.
Yeah, I mean that's how you want to think about it. You want to look at those kind of patterns. So he can roll the 7 and get on the 1, shoot the 4. Well, this is what he should be doing.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. I'm very surprised he did not go there. Now that just baffled me because he had the 10s.
We'll see how he does this. Is he going to do it off the 6, but a bit of right English on it?
Here's the thing: is you shoot the 1, and but he's not at a good angle now. You shoot the 1, you have the 2 and the 4 easily. Now he's at a funny angle. You wanted to be straighter on this.
Straight off the bat, he was much better than.
He's going to hold this. He's going to kind of spin it in and hold it. That's a good shot. He hit it pretty good. And he's still kind of a little funny now. I mean,
yeah, he's not great in the 4 ball.
Yeah, I just don't get why he didn't shoot the 7 and roll forward for the 1.
This is a sort of no man's land shot for either of these 2 balls. He's got to get a hold of the cue ball.
Well, the good news for him is the 2 ball goes in the other corner. So you shoot the 4 ball here, and I think you got to shoot this 4 ball with draw and a little bit of left English so that it pops out past the 10 ball. Just a teeny bit of left will do it. Just like that. He didn't put left, but he got it to pop out. Well, actually, he didn't want it to go because he wanted to be straight in on this 5 because it gives him a great angle on the 2. Now,
he's not.
Well, he's going to have to bump the 2 now. That's what he's going to have to do. So the way you want to play this is to run into the 2. If you hit the 15 first, that's fine. But you don't want to just dink this. You want to have enough speed to move the 2 a few inches so that, the balls separate. He may try to come across in the gap behind the 15, but I wouldn't do that. I'd bump it there.
Between the 8 and the 15? Oh, that's
what he's doing.
Played. Now, how does he get out of there, though?
Yeah, well, that's why I would have bumped the 2. See, if he would have got straight in on that 5, he could have just shot the 2, bumped the 15 out of the way, and shot the 8. And because he didn't, now things get tough. He's going to draw this. He's going to draw this back and then shoot the 8 in the corner probably. Maybe in the side. But he's going to jack up on this and draw it back.
This is match ball.
But, this is typical when you're playing. I mean, he got out of line some, but that's going to happen. I mean, it's hard to be, right here instead of right there when it's an inch or 2 difference.
Good enough to find his way out.
He knows how to he knows how to deal when you're not quite in line. When you're a little bit out of line, how do you make angle and make things work? And he understands how to do it.
So Cobra goes through against LS3, 11 racks to 8. So we've had our 2 results tonight. Let's have a quick look at the bracket once this updates. It's just about to. If we go from the top to the bottom, we can see that Albinario has arranged a match with Tommy. That's, when is it, next week? We've got Larry in semi-pro at the weekend. We've got Cobra through. Well, here we go. We've got Cobra against Stubb in round 3.
Oh, that'll be good. Stubb's going to get his ass kicked. I'll tell you that right now, because if he plays the way he did against Linus, he's got no chance at all against Cobra.
We've got Ice Age against One Pocket Slim. They've still to arrange. We've got Biggs has gone through against Lard. 11 racks to, what was that, 5. And we have Bankster arranged their match with Coldest Pillow. And that is all of the second round matches still to go.
I'm looking at LS3's comment in the lobby. She says, good luck in the rest. Bit annoying. Felt like you were off your best, but I was too sloppy all the way. And that's good that she understands that, because it's important to be honest with yourself. And that comment is just spot on. That's basically that's basically what it was. Cobra didn't play his best. The LS3 was pretty sloppy, and that's why Cobra's winning.
Well, those matches that are on the schedule: Larry semi-pro at the weekend at 7 p.m, 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. We've got Bankster and Coldest Pillow on the Sunday at 7 p.m. We've got Albinario and Tommy on the Monday at, what is it, 7:30. Well, I can get all of them, so I'll be available for those matches.
Coldest Pillow, if you're still there, you should go take some lessons from semi-pro.
Let's have a look at that match.
You can pay for him. Play him for like $10 V a match.
No.
Cost Cobra a few dollars, or cost a semi-pro a few dollars, and maybe you'll learn something about how to play.
LS3, let's have a look. No. Where is she? Is that her there?
Played them the other day. Well, keep playing them. If you have to, like I said, bet with him. Bet cheap, he'll do it. And you know, the more you can play somebody like him, the better off. Kind of see what kind of strategy he does.
Well, look at the break stats. LS3 had 4 break fouls. Those 2 that that I saw early on.
They both had a lot of break fouls. I mean,
well, she was hitting the ball too hard. She clearly looked as if she had the amp on a bar table to break the balls, and the one ball went flying off the table, and then the other one scratched. But she's had 4 fouls in the break in total. Cobra had 1.
Run-outs from the break.
Run-outs from break 4 for Cobra, 3 for LS3, and average balls made roughly the same between the 2 of them. And racks ran in total. Cobra got 6, and 8 ball shot, 12 and 10, and LS3 9 and 8 went in. So that's the stats for the match. Well, Stubb goes through, and he knows that he can't be blasting balls that he's done tonight if he's going to overcome Cobra. I don't think. Surely he's not that dumb to be doing the same stuff. But
but if he doesn't really understand how to play and he doesn't want to think a lot, I would imagine he's going to play the same way.
Well, we'll see. Whenever they arrange their match, I mean, I might still be off by the time they get to play it. I don't know how long they've got. Probably a good few days. Stubb won't be in a hurry to get it played, I don't think. But anyway, we'll keep an eye out for that.
Stubb's going to avoid Cobra for as long as he can.
Yeah, he'll try and drag it out. Well, Steve, thanks for your company. Thanks for all your company, guys. I'm heading out. I'm going for a coffee. And I'm going to try and stay up to midnight again so that I can get a good night's sleep again like I've had the last 3 nights.
About 7 hours during the match. yeah, I don't think that's going to go, Coldest P. I don't think Cobra's going to want to. Of course, I guess Cobra could always mute him.
Well, he could.
or
I mean,
ignore him. Cobra could ignore him.
just ignore him.
But I don't think anybody else wants to see it either.
No, I mean, it's, you know, especially going into some other a tournament room. I don't think that's right. You know, he comes into that room when Cobra and LS3's playing, and he starts bullshitting while they're playing. I mean, you know, that's just not the proper etiquette. But then again, he's never had that. Right.
Would be funny. Well, it would be funny if it wasn't the same exact thing
It's the same stuff
he's been
every
saying
time.
for 20 years.
And
Yeah.
why doesn't he do what I do and just type it all into a WordPad page and then just copy and paste it? That's what I do. He could just copy and paste the same thing all the time. Saves him typing it. You know.
Yeah.
That's all I do. Anyway.
Don't give him ideas.
I'm getting out of here. I'm not hanging around any longer.
All right. Well, thanks for streaming here. Thanks, guys.
And hopefully you can catch up with some of these matches over the weekend as well. And we'll see you again soon, guys.
All right. Good night.
Take care. Good night. See you soon.